So now we head into Prairie, and as you can see we have, I like these gateways. Now this is all brand new. And one of the first problems was that this first area you only got to the first time you ever played. So as you can see, I disconnected from the companions I had here because they went on to the main hub. And I end up at this little intro area. And one of the big changes was the addition of these little creature quests. And I think you've probably heard me or maybe other people mention, you've also seen these platforms that are still there, just non-functional unless it's buggy. And sometimes they are functional, kind of. But you end up with these platforms. And this one is sit and meditate, and it is a quest, and it's called Washed Ashore. New quest, and these gave you a candle when you finish them. You can see the little design on the platform there. And there's still these platforms in Nest and Caves. I think there's one also still in Villages where you get that 1 star now. But anyway, you find these little lights, and they went back and forth from needing 2 players, needing 1 player. This was the first we saw of these. Washed ashore. You go back and sit again. I don't know. There it goes. And then you got the little thing. And there was actually supposed to be a creature. There he is, okay. That's a little creature. It gave me a design on my back. And that is how we got our cape decoration. And I actually I didn't realize that's when this started. It didn't hit me, but yeah, that's when we got the design on our backs. And then that was the revealing the exit. Catch the birds, and then you will head on to the little hub of Prairie. Where we will rejoin my other account and my little friend. So this is the little hub, and this tells you basically you need to go do some things before that gateway will open. There's a bird statue. And there's your view of the temple. Head up to the bird statue and tap the icon there, and you'll see the constellation. It's a manta. And then it points you to the direction it wants you to go next. You can actually go to any one of the areas, but I was pointing the way that it was telling me to go to my alternates, because it's all in a circle, or there's 2 and 2 on each side. I wanted to go the way it directed you to go. So then you meditate. Only one person has to meditate. You meditate here. So my other character is meditating, and then it opens the gateway. It kind of looks like if you ever watched, what was that show? Stargate. Open like Stargate kind of thing. And this is going to take us to, I believe, Butterfly Fields. You recognize this place. This is Butterfly Fields. Each area was completely separate at this point. So Butterfly Fields was its own separate place. I'm going to go here, and this is what this platform is still there too, yeah. Platform for the quest. Only one person had to sit. Fluttering Light was the name of this quest. Did this one require 2? It required 2 at one time. I'm not sure it required 2 right here. So off we go. Yep, it requires. Never required one. You see the little handhold that turns up. And I kind of regret this now because I was chatting with my friend over there and it has 2 handholds. It looks like it requires 2. But you were able to keep handhold. That's what surprises me here. So I kept chatting with her, and it really slows this down, and I have to keep on cutting things out. So it's a kind of difficult to do this video. I wanted to do this because this was so different, and of course it is no longer in the game. These quests aren't, but this is what those places were for. That's what, when they were added, was these were quests that we got. They were little called creature quests. And you got a candle for every one you did. It was a nice way of collecting candles. And I can't think of anybody who disliked these. There's our other creature. And we have more, I have more pattern. You can see my black cape is quite full of pattern. So you got diamonds all the way down your cape now, which looked really pretty. Let me get a candle, yay! Nice way of collecting candles in beta because we didn't have any other way to collect candles, any ability to buy them. So now I've given my little friend light there, and we're gonna go off to candles. There's just candles in here. That's the one where I think that's the one where the light child is now. Now I'm not sure which direction I'm facing. Yeah, that's the one where the light child is now because that's the one where the candles are. And then up on this thing, I think we only had a hole up here. This was the only entrance to it. Kind of wish I knew what we were chatting about so much, but I'm pretty sure, considering who it was I was talking to, we were probably complaining. We have buried candles. No, I don't remember. I know who this was, but I don't remember what we were talking about at all. But we're probably talking about the changes. That's the way out. There was a little ramp that led you back out. And then this is the same emote that's there now. Here's the butterfly catcher. His animation didn't really change. For a while, that butterfly was not landing on his hand. It drove people crazy. We're kind of facing the wrong direction. But anyway. And so there's an emote for my constellation. Hooray! And there's the chirp for the butterflies to take you out. And flight is apparently still a little wonky. So my one character had crashed, so I went back and I had to reconnect, and then we could just collect a candle. So I'm just gonna head back to our hub. So that was all for butterfly fields. And of course, it didn't connect anywhere but to the hub. There was no connections between areas, just from butterfly fields to hub. And I can't remember if there was a reason I detached there. Probably so that I could do this. And now this tells me I've done another, one more step towards opening that gateway. I think that's what that was. Then I look at my map. I think what I was trying to do is see what was happening around. It doesn't give you any other prompt for which way to go. And there's chat benches with a buggy candle. There you can see the other new area that will be familiar to you, but was brand new to us at this time. That looks a lot like caves. The other little dude was another friend of mine. I do not remember exactly who that was, but I'm sure it's on another video I have. And oh my God, I was in love with this place. Now I hardly ever visit it. But oh, I loved this place. And you'll see some differences. There's definitely, it got definitely fine tuned. But oh, what I really liked though was this flight. The flight we have in there now is more of a walk, it's not a flight. So you don't get the whole wide view of it. I just felt like this was just a fantastic view. But the funny thing is, if you get a view of it, if I pan the camera up in a moment, on the left of that big hole there, you see, there is a wide open hole to an area you're not supposed to go to. Kind of a glitch, out of bounds. And it had a plateau and it had some old other things in it. It was kind of cool to visit while we could. So here's the Lone Echo quest. Again, this platform is still in the game. Just doesn't do anything. And I didn't remember to change my camera angle. There we go, now I did. I was flying with one account and recording on the other, so it didn't work out very well. Now, at one time, see, we have to be two different players. We can't do it holding hands. There we go, somebody finally let go. At one time, some of the quests would be two-player if there were two players and one player if there weren't, which was kind of cool as well. I was very much against anything that required two players in order to progress the game. This really didn't one or two of these requiring two wouldn't have bothered me. Actually two would have bothered me. One requiring two players would not have bothered me. But once you got into things you could not do with single player, it bothered a lot of people actually. Very few people wanted to rely on others, certainly to progress the game. When Eden required 6, it was horrible. And Eden did require 6. Storm did require 6 at one point to open the door. Then anything goes, but to open the door it required 6 players, and that did not go over well with a lot of people. So here's another creature. Dang chat boxes. Kind of wish I'd done this solo. So now I have even more. Look at that black cave all the way down the back. This wasn't going to work. We didn't have enough room on the cape for more design. So all you who are wondering what 11 cape wedges will look like, I'm not real sure they know what that should look like. Okay, so I've just spent some time making friends with the two people who were strangers here. So it's Gabriel and Maria. Now we're going to head up. Too bad we didn't get a good view of where we were heading up to. Oh, this room. Oh, gosh, yeah. I'd forgotten this room. Oh. This room is no longer there. And this is where they moved the hands to head emote. This room has kind of been replaced by a room that is still there. Much tinier. Also had the hands to head emote for a little while. Before that was moved to forest. Then they... No, there was no seasonal spirit up. Oh, the seasonal spirit went up there for gratitude, I think it was. Anyway. Oh, and here's the big hole that goes goes to where, I mean, it looks like where you're supposed to go. It's so open. And this actually goes to a place you're not supposed to go. Which you can still see. It just looks different now. But you can still get to it. And this is like, I never really turned the camera so you could see, but this is the, there's the fairy ring there, the mushrooms, and the little clock that was there, and some jars. There were candles there on the chat bench. And those were all elsewhere and just sitting here like extras. Here you can see the plateau where we were at, which is on the upper side of the caves, which we've been to on stream and stuff occasionally. But there's the chat bench and stuff. It was all just floating there in the air. Of course, you weren't really supposed to be here. Like I said, there's somebody else's lead, so I never turned the camera to see that properly. Because I think actually Maria is leading, I believe, at the moment. Oops, water. Okay. Yeah, Maria is leading. And she is after candles. So here is one of our he was back in a hallway. Still the darkness shrouded. Love this music and just loved when this, still remember the first time seeing this animation. It was the first one to be a new animation like this, the little scene, back when it was still in the old Prairie. And it was just cool. The coolest thing, I actually have a recording of it, but it's totally cut off. The first time, probably one of the first times I ever saw that animation. There's a white brow. So yeah, he's still back in the hallway, just like he is now, off by himself. You just didn't see us go in the door because we went into it not facing it, because I'm not paying attention to the camera angle on this account. Some candles. These candles for a little while did not give wax. In fact, I think they're not giving me wax right now. Yeah, that was annoying. They were obviously giving her wax. They were giving some people wax, not everybody. It was very odd. Flying up to get out, I think. Yeah, up into a hole, up into one of the little offshoot tunnels, cave holes. And so then we just flew around and came back out to the exit. This was just a beautiful flight. I loved this. Was just my favorite flight. So I was kind of sad when they got rid of this and making it all one area. I really love how it is now with them all connected the way they are, but I really just liked this flight. So I miss it. It was a little bit buggy flight sometimes, though. You could get disconnections and all kinds of other things. So there is number 3. Lit down there. Oh, and if you tapped it, it did point you to the next one.